Battle through the heavens, Grand World. Chapter 131st Match. After Li Daoyuan gave the order, all the alchemists from different cities rushed into the venue with the number plates they had just received, looking for their crystal tables. Xiaoyan's number plate was number 54, and on his right was an ordinary-looking young man wearing a gray alchemist robe. On his left was a young man wearing a gray alchemist robe. It was Yu Qiang, who had been knocked down by Xiao Yan when he wanted to tease Bai Qian that day. Yu Qiang looked at Xiao Yan with a gloomy face and let out a cold snort. He gave Xiao Yan a thumbs up and then pointed his thumb downwards. His eyes were filled with disdain. He had also read about Xiao Yan in the information he had. Although he was surprised by Xiao Yan's age, he naturally snorted. He was also an alien realm soul, and he firmly believed in his own age. He could absolutely crush Xiao Yan. Looking at Yu Qiang's self-righteous actions, there wasn't a single ripple in Xiao Yan's heart. There was no need to pay attention to this idiot. The first round of the competition was about to begin. It was easy to say that this competition was easy, but it was also difficult to say that it was enough to eliminate an alien realm soul genius alchemist. Right now, the most important thing was to adjust his attitude. Alright, all the participants are in position. I believe that all of you know the rules of the first round. Almost 20 different medicinal herbs and medicine pills will appear on the table. Within a certain period of time, all of you will recognize them one by one and use your soul power to carve their names onto the soul-reflecting tablet on your left. Then place it into the crystal slot. If you miss more than 3, you will be eliminated. An old man beside Li Daoyuan took over Li Daoyuan's words and spoke in a low voice. After which, he waved his sleeve and a huge hourglass the height of 3 people appeared in the middle of the square. Now, the competition begins. Following the old man's order, a red light flashed across the 480 crystal platforms at the same time. After which, different pictures appeared on each crystal platform. The pictures were of various medicinal ingredients and medicine pills. At the same time, the hourglass in the middle also began to count down. A gurgling sand flow quickly flowed down, indicating the flow of time. The tens of thousands of people on the viewing platform held their breaths and focused their attention. The 400+ people on the arena also began to identify in an orderly manner. Li Daoyuan and nearly 10 others also left in a flash and sat on the judges' seats at the side of the arena. This year's competition is really interesting. A monstrous genius with a middle period of alien stage soul, and an 8-year-old alien realm soul. I'm afraid it's even more intense than the previous one. On the judges' seats, a middle-aged man in a black robe with a square face chuckled and spoke in a low voice. Hua Yan, who was sitting next to the middle-aged man, smiled bitterly and said, "It's not just the previous batch. The standard of this batch is so high that even that time, they are no match for it." The middle-aged man pondered for a moment when he heard this. He mumbled to himself, "That batch." After saying this, his eyes looked towards the sky above the square without leaving any traces behind. He quietly sighed and did not say anything else. Xiao Yan looked at the picture that appeared on the crystal platform. Different medicinal ingredients were arranged evenly in a row. Xiao Yan calmed his heart and carefully observed the medicinal ingredients. On the picture, his mind quickly recalled the information that Elder Yi had sent him. He quickly eliminated all useless information and the name of a medicinal ingredient appeared in his mind. He took the soul-reflecting tablet, and soul power surged out from between his eyebrows. It turned into an incorporeal soul knife and began to carve the name of the herb on the tablet. When his soul came into contact with the tablet, he felt a huge resistance. Xiao Yan couldn't help but exclaim softly. He immediately understood the purpose of this match. It was not only to test the basic knowledge of an alchemist, but also to eliminate those with low soul strength. Raising his head, he saw that there were indeed some alchemists in front of crystal platforms. Some of them looked at the stone slab with red faces and didn't know what to do. They laughed in their hearts. Xiao Yan's eyes focused slightly. The strength of the soul knife suddenly increased, and the name of the herb was easily carved on the stone slab. As a genius of Ningxing City, Yu Qiang naturally carved the name of one herb onto the stone slab with ease. Turning his head, he saw that Xiao Yan had already completed the names of 2 herbs. He let out a cold snort and immediately started to engrave the name of the second herb on the stone slab. "This is Jade Devil's Beard. Good fellow. This is a high-grade medicinal ingredient used to refine some Tier 7 medicine pills. It is actually placed here as a competition prop. Looking at the picture of an old man with a snow-white beard, Xiao Yan could not help but sigh. This thing was extremely rare. Even some of the city's alchemist guild leaders present probably did not know that it had actually appeared here. This competition is really full of danger and opportunity. Those who are lucky encounter a bunch of low-grade medicinal herbs and easily pass. Those who are unlucky encounter a few high-grade medicine pills, medicinal herbs, and can only stare blankly. While thinking in his heart, Xiao Yan's hands did not slow down. Very quickly, he carved the names of the remaining few medicinal herbs onto the stone slab. What is this? Looking at the last round medicine pill, which had a purple-red color and a blue-black color, Xiao Yan frowned. He could not help but slow down his movements. This medicine pill was obviously not one of the Zhao Qingshans he had seen before. Even the introduction of the medicine pill in the information he had obtained from Zhao Qingshan regarding alchemists was mentioned. He had never seen such a medicine pill before. Buzz. Just as Xiao Yan was deep in thought, a buzzing sound suddenly came from a crystal platform in the distance. Then, the surface of the crystal platform, which was made of white jade, emitted a bright red light. Under the contrast of more than 400 crystal platforms, it looked extremely dazzling. Everyone couldn't help but look up. They saw Li Zan, who was standing in front of the crystal platform with his hands behind his back, looking at the people around him with disdain. When they heard the cheers coming from somewhere in the stands, the people on the judges' seats frowned. Li Daoyuan stroked his beard and said, "It seems like this kid is not an ordinary person." Hua Yan sighed and said in a low voice, "Look at the color of the red light. That kid got it all right. In this competition, I specially put in the Jade Devil beard. The profound clear pill, these few extremely rare things, I never thought that this guy would not encounter any of them." Li Daoyuan's face twitched as he said, "You really dare to do that? Even some of the elders don't know about these things. If Xiao Yu and the others were to encounter them, wouldn't that mean that they would pick up a stone and throw it at their own feet?" Right at this moment, a red light that wasn't any weaker than Li Zan suddenly burst out from the crystal platform in front of Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu stood up with a calm expression after he answered all of the questions. He glanced at Li Zan, who seemed very pleased with himself, then turned his eyes to Zhou Gudian and the others. After the two of them were done, the tables in front of some alchemists started to glow with different colors of red light. Yu Qiang looked at Xiao Yan, who was still thinking hard. He smiled with disdain in his heart and put the stone slab into the crystal groove. In the next moment, a red light appeared on the crystal platform. Seeing the brightness of the red light, Yu Qiang couldn't help but feel shocked. He actually made two mistakes. After letting out a slight humph, Yu Qiang looked at Xiao Yan, who was frowning, and immediately felt much better. As more and more sand appeared in the bottom part of the hourglass, sweat began to appear on Ji Yun's forehead. Red light appeared on Fu Zan and Bai Qian's crystal platforms. The latter's red light even reached the most adequate stage, but the crystal platform in front of Xiao Yan still didn't light up. Similarly, when the red light lit up, there were naturally several green lights flashing. Those alchemists who saw the green light flashing on the platforms in front of them had pale faces. When the green light appeared, they immediately turned green. This meant that they had been eliminated in the first round. What's wrong with Xiao Yan? Li Daoyuan looked at Xiao Yan with his sharp eyes and frowned. If they couldn't even pass the first round, then all their efforts in the past 2 days would be wasted. Who? Xiao Yan let out a light breath. His eyes swept across the hourglass that was about to arrive. The corner of his mouth revealed a helpless bitter smile. He had really tried his best. He repeatedly recalled the information Elder Yi had given him about the medicine pill, but he still couldn't find any information about this medicine pill in front of him. It's still a superficial knowledge. Clenching his teeth, Xiao Yan had no choice but to put the stone slab into the crystal trough. The crystal platform instantly emitted a brilliant red light. Xiao Yu, who was far away, saw the color of the red light. Without saying a word, he looked at the former. Zhou Gudian and the others also looked over. When they saw the light on Xiao Yan's crystal platform, they all let out a sigh of relief. According to their teacher, this guy was a genius who had the ability to fight Li Zan. If he was eliminated in the first match, it would be unbelievable. Bai Qian, Fu Zan, Ji Yun, and the others also heaved a sigh of relief when they saw this. Their nervous hearts gradually recovered, and they waited for the match to end. Li Daoyuan looked at the helpless Xiao Yan, then looked at the hourglass in the middle. He then stood up and said in a vigorous voice, "Time is up. Those in front of you who are green or without light, all of you will be eliminated." Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.